Hey, I'm Chase, and this is All Things Random. Today, we're looking at a brand new no-date Submariner straight from the authorized dealer. I'm going to tell you how my buddy picked this up and exactly what the waitlist is all about. Now, before we hop into the video, hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment of the content you guys would like to see next. So how likely is it that you could pick up a Rolex sports model from an authorized dealer with this wait list that everybody is worried about getting on? Well, I can tell you that my buddy only owns one prior Rolex, and that is a Rolex Datejust that he bought for his wife. Now, what he has done here in Anchorage, Alaska, we only have one authorized dealer for Rolex, and that is Ben Bridge, and he would kind of BS with the sales associate behind the counter. Now, he asked about a Rolex sports model, something like the Submariner or Daytona, and the guy asked him if he wanted to fill out a card to be placed on the wait list. He, like a lot of other people, thought maybe he would never get a phone call. So he filled out the card anyway, knowing that he would never get a return phone call saying that there was a Rolex sports model that he could purchase. Well, about a month later, they actually gave him a call and said, hey, we got a Rolex in the store. If you want it, it's yours. Now, he gave me a call and asked me if he should buy it. Now, the retail price for it that he ended up paying was $7,800. Online right now, if you want it in hands without waiting, is around $95,000 to $10,000. So he's saving a good pretty penny and could flip it if he wanted to online. So I told him he might as well pick it up. So if you have any hesitations going into an authorized dealer and being placed on the wait list itself, you may actually get a call, so you really have nothing to lose. Now let's flip the camera around and hop into the review itself. And here it is, only 2 weeks old in its green box, the 114060 no-date Submariner. Now this Submariner features the unidirectional rotating bezel with the Cerachrome insert, solid link oyster bracelet, the latest generation Submariner with no date. Now let's take it out of the box and actually get hands-on. Now this, of course, is a 2020, so this is the super case at 40 millimeters. Now the thing that people love about the super case is it is still 40 millimeters. However, it sits a little larger on the wrist. Some people like that and some people hate it, but some people like the super case because it offers that ceramic bezel that is just super glossy. Let's go over a few things about the watch itself. Now, the material of this watch is the oyster steel or the 904L stainless steel. That is their own in-house steel. Some people love the 904 steel because they say it's easier to polish. However, that means it does scratch a little easier. Now, housed inside is the caliber 3130, which means it's the no date. The 3135 is the date. It has a 3130 in-house movement that is supposed to be so precise that after the casing, it's supposed to be -2 to +2 seconds a day. Now, it does feature the new paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring, which is supposed to be just better functioning. Now, the power reserve is only 48 hours, and again, this is the black gloss dial. Now, you see the pips around the hour markers are slightly bigger than the prior generation, the 5-digit generation, which again, some people love and some people hate. That being said, it does have the nice chromalite long-lasting blue lume on the dial as opposed to the green lume that some people just don't like. I'll be honest with you, I prefer the blue over the green. I just love the way it looks, and I will show you a lume shot towards the end of the video. Now let's talk about what makes this watch $7,800. Now, the devil truly is in the details, especially when you're dealing with a Submariner with no date, because it is very simplistic as opposed to the date, which is still simplistic in itself. Again, the devil is in the details. So let's talk about the dial. The dial is a black dial, and the printing on the dial is absolutely perfect. Now, the more I zoom in, the more you'll see the crisp lines either on the Swiss made or the chronometer officially certified, the 1,000 feet or 300 meters. The Rolex crown and the Rolex is printed perfectly. Along the chapter ring, you see that Rolex is etched perfectly, so where every letter lines up with each minute marker to include the crown at the 12 o'clock. Now let's talk about the bezel. The bezel is a unidirectional 60 click with 60-minute graduated scratch resistant ceramic. Now each numeral and each graduation is coated in platinum. Now again, 120 click. Each click is nice and solid and satisfying, but everything lines up absolutely perfectly in this. Now, if you look again, like I was talking about along the chapter ring, you can see that everything lines up absolutely perfect. Every letter is centered perfectly over those minute markers. And this, again, is in the details. Now, there is one thing my buddy does not like, and that is the fact that it has this extremely shiny dial and this mirroring halo effect on the dial itself. The reflection off the reflection. He's used to the matte black finish that causes the details to pop, and he just doesn't like that. I understand what he's talking about. Now let's go over the case itself and the bracelet. 40 millimeter oyster case, oyster steel, that fits perfectly on the wrist. It is a super case again, so it is a 40 millimeter, but it wears slightly larger. The band starts at 20 millimeters and tapers down to the glide lock clasp. This thing is why people love the new watches as opposed to the older style watches, because once they put this glide lock clasp on it, it's really hard to go back to a micro adjustment with a push pin. Now these allow you to micro adjust it. I believe it's 5 millimeters in very small increments. So if it's getting hot outside, you can simply micro adjust it so it fits perfectly on your wrist. Solid links and in links with a nice, perfectly brushed finish. Now, again, the devil is in the details. The unscrewing of the crown is absolutely smooth into perfection, especially when you wind it. It's almost effortless to wind it and actually function through the watches. A watch that was $5,000, it was a Tag Heuer, even had a grittier style feel when you wound it. This though is like butter. This, of course, is a dive watch, so you could wear this every single day. Again, one of the things I love about a little more expensive watches with better quality is they're built for a lifetime. People really don't understand that. When I talk to people when they have their $200 Citizens or something like that, honestly, those are more throwaway watches as opposed to something you could hand down to your children. Now let's actually see what the lume looks like. Now I'm going to flip off the lights here and you'll see that nice blue lume coming through. It almost looks a little green on my screen. However, it is the nice ice blue. I didn't use very bright light, so bear with me. Now, some of the pros and cons of this watch. Now, again, it is a very plain Jane watch. I feel like you are paying more for the name. I feel like the watch could go for about $2,000 and that would be justified, but $10,000 for a no-date Submariner is a little hard to swallow for some people. However, you are paying for perfection. That includes the polishing on the case, that is absolutely perfect. The brushing on the case, that is absolutely perfect. The way that the dial is set up, there is no imperfections in the watch at all. So again, you are paying for something to be high quality. However, it's a little hard to swallow. Like I said, here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. Fits perfectly like you'd expect from a Rolex. I think one of the saddest things was hearing the disappointment in my buddy's voice. Now, he loves watches like I love watches, and I love high-end watches and low-end watches, and he is the exact same. And it was just a little disappointing because he didn't chase the watch. He felt like he needed to get it because, you know, there's this thought that they're so hard to obtain, so if an opportunity presents itself, you should throw down your cash, and that's what he did. And you know, it's sad because in the entire 2 weeks he's had it, I think he said he wore it once for a short period of time, and then he put back on his Tag Heuer that, you know, he just preferred. Now, if you like videos and videos like this, again, hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment of the content you guys would like to see next. Because a lot of things are shut down here in Anchorage because of this pandemic, of this virus, I can't go out to the pool, test out some equipment, but the reviews other than watch stuff will be coming up in the future. So for all you looking for the electronics reviews or the dive reviews or the equipment reviews, keep a lookout in the future for those. There are going to be a few more watch videos coming up only because of what's going on. So hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I release the next video. Until next time.